inside the Pile on a Midwest College Football podcast. Joined by Clinton Boring. My name is Ryan Zatkoviak. Clinton, week 4 is almost in the books. I can't even say, I feel weird saying almost in the books because one of our games hasn't even kicked off yet. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, man. We had a fun day of college football. Clemson gets upset again. My national title pick is just aging like fine wine.
Upset at this point?
I don't know. Clemson's bad. Feel bad for Steve Angeli. I feel so bad for him. Likely, I'm sure, a ruptured Achilles. I haven't seen anything if it's been fully diagnosed yet. But
no, Fran Barron just said he's going to be out for a long time.
Yeah, long time, as in maybe next year.
Yeah.
But Clemson just gets decimated. Florida looks anemic on offense. Utah also looks anemic on offense in their big matchup today.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about anemic on offense. The Illinois Fighting Illini just get ran over by the Hoosiers tonight, which we'll break down, I'm sure, rather quickly. But other than that, I'm a little sleepy. Wife and I went out for our anniversary last night. So that was a nice time just to hang out with her. Had some adult beverages, had some delicious ice cream to celebrate.
This dumbass in the middle of date night texts me, Kaliakmanis is balling. I'm like, bro, aren't you on like a dinner date right now?
No, we were back to the hotel by like 9:30 because we got started early because we left. I mean, we got into Dublin by like 5. Dinner reservations were 6:15. 8. Walked around Dublin for a while, went across the bridge. This is the walking bridge that looks like a vagina. And then came back over, went to Penn's for a while, got some dessert, and then went back to the hotel and hung out. And we both fell asleep on the bed at like 9:40. And then we woke up and were awake for a little bit. And I kept dozing in and out of the Iowa and Rutgers game through the second half, but saw enough at the end to understand that Iowa pretty much sealed the deal. But how are you today, Ryan?
Well, as I told you pre-show, I have not been profusely sweating for the last 3.5 hours, so we're already starting off much better than we were last week, and I think that was a weird day of football. I've watched my team through basically 2 different time windows because of weather delays, and yeah, that was just a interesting watching experience.
Which we just talked about pre-show. What an inordinate amount of weather delays this year through 4 weeks. It is absurd and annoying. Poor Purdue, back-to-back weeks. They had a 3-hour, 5-minute delay last week with USC, and then they get hit again with how many hours was this one, Ryan? 2?
It was like 2.5 hours.
2.5 hour delay with Notre Dame today. Clemson had one. Florida State had one. I think there was another one in there somewhere. And then we had multiple delays last week and the week before. So kind of annoying. Glad we can at least get the games in. These don't seem to be like hurricane related. Whereas I know in past, like as far as college fantasy, we had a game get screwed up because they just didn't make up the points for a hurricane erased game, which really sucked.
Clinton, we're like 9 years removed from Notre Dame playing a game in a literal hurricane.
Yeah. So it's crazy. I'm on the part with you. Like, yes, I think the weather and climate's worse, but I think they've also changed their rules on like when they have to call this and how long it has to last.
Yeah, the flashbang ratio or whatever.
Yeah. Is it every 15 minutes? For every lightning strike, it's 15 more minutes?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Maybe due to the massacre, we'll be going live early.
Clinton, do you want to take this question? Do you want to take that one?
Either Illinois sucks or Indiana's really good. I think it might be the latter. I think it might be that Indiana's really good. If you think about, are we just going to get into it?
Yeah, let's just get into it. It's officially final now. Indiana 63, Big Ten, Jesus. Indiana 63, Illinois 10. Hold on, Clinton. I think I got a sound for this.
Fatality.
It was a.
There's a dead body on the field.
There was a Mortal Kombat. Finish him in the very early part of this game. It was over. Yeah, it was 14-7 into the first. It was over by halftime.
Yeah,
Easily
it
over by
was.
halftime.
They Indiana got this game. Well, they didn't technically get. They got the scoring started with a blocked punt.
Mm-hmm.
Nice big game changing play. And I thought this was going to be a back and forth because Illinois responded immediately.
Mm-hmm.
3-play touchdown drive. Big, how was it? 59-yard, 60-yard pass to Colin Dixon, tied it up. I thought we were going to have a
busted
big
coverage.
busted coverage, big old back and forth game. And from that point, man, it was all IU. They scored on the next drive to make it 14-10. Illinois went 3 and out. Indiana went 3 and out. Illinois went 3 and out. Insert joke about Big Ten West game. But then from that point forward, Indiana scored on, count them, Clinton. Oh boy, I actually have to count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive drives following that 3 and out. Their last 7 drives of the game. Indiana scored touchdowns. And just a total and thorough ass kicking in this game on both sides of the ball. Fernando Mendoza was, I couldn't tell if he was sweating at all or if that was just the water from the rain at the end of the game. I don't know that he broke a sweat in this one because he was unbothered. He was nearly perfect in this one. 21 of 23, 267 yards, 5 touchdowns. He spread the ball around well. Elijah Surratt was making plays again. Omar Cooper's making plays again. And then on the other side of the ball, the Indiana defense had Luke Altmyer running for his life in this game. 7 sacks, 2 for Tyreek Tucker, 2 for Mario Landino. Indiana ran the ball well. Illinois did, it seems like, nothing well in this game at all. They couldn't run, they couldn't pass, they couldn't protect the quarterback. Aside from the coverage bust, they had 100 yards passing the rest of the game.
I'm looking at the same thing you are. These total tackles cannot be correct. They have Indiana with 9 tackles on the game.
Oh no, I think they just put in. I think they put in like tackles for a loss, and then it updates after the fact.
Because I'm going to say, I'm looking at this, and I know Isaiah Jones, number 46, was all over the field in that game.
No, I don't think I don't think the live stats or the like the ESPN box score is good until they like import the live stats from whoever is doing the live stats of the game.
Pretty crazy. But back to Benny's question: does Illinois stink or is Indiana good? I think Indiana is just that good, man. Look what they brought back. Curtis Worth's gone, but you bring in Fernando Mendoza. You bring in Roman Hemby in the portal, and he's not even the top back. He got the most carries tonight with 14. But Kalon Black continues to pop off, a 40-yard long run. Then you also have Kobe Martin, the freshman, who we were just talking pre-show, didn't record a carry, I believe, until like the third quarter.
Yeah.
Finishes 12 carries, 107 yards, 2 TDs. Like, this kid's going to have to get more and more playing time.
Yeah, don't fact check me on that. We were talking pre-show. They were talking about Lee Beebe being out for the year with his ACL injury, and I swear I heard Noah Eagle say, and we haven't even seen the third string running back, Kobe Martin, who had 100 yards last week. So I think he had all of those carries and yards in the last like 20 minutes of this game.
Well, let's look back at Clinton's key, Ryan, for Illinois here. Continue the stout run D. The Illinois Fighting Illini have only allowed 74.6 rushing yards per game. Indiana averages 307.7. They finished this game with 312 rushing yards. Illinois did not bring the run D in this game, and they got ran over.
Clinton.
Put that on top of what Mendoza did. What are they sitting at? 579 yards.
Clinton, you only had 2 fewer yards rushing than Illinois did in this game.
Yeah, that's true. It's just
nothing was working.
Sonny said it too. They couldn't start slow, and they did. But can you even say they started slow? They never got a chance to start at all. Indiana just lived in the backfield, generating pressure. Luke Altmyer is a really good Big Ten quarterback. I believe what he said when they talked about at the beginning of the game, that they're, being his 3rd year at Illinois and 4th year in college football, maybe 5th, that there's not a whole lot in college that he hasn't seen yet defensively. Well, buddy, he wasn't seeing anything other than Indiana players in his face or turf in this game because he had no time to get the ball off. And the thing I love about we give Signetti a lot of flack because he flaps his jaws heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's on the sidelines pissed off 2 quarters later because they got a false start. Like, he does have a high expectation for this team. And
It rubs off.
Absolutely. Carrying forward. I mean, again, this is the Indiana team we expect to see, right? But not 63-10 in this game. He finally gets the ranked win in the Big Ten or just ranked win that they couldn't get last year. But, I mean, does Iowa scare Indiana at all after this performance next week? I get it.
No.
It's a tough place because it gets tricky, right? If Iowa's defense forces a few turnovers, but Iowa does not have the offense to run with Indiana.
No.
And then it's a bye week, and then it's at Oregon. And I'll tell you what, we'll get to Oregon here soon. We've talked week after week after week about Oregon's run defense.
Yeah,
I know it was better today, but there were at times like Indiana's not Oregon State. Indiana can really run the ball. And they've got, if they play Martin more, they've got 3 dudes who can attack you. And then, Fernando Mendoza's not too immobile himself. Plus what they have out wide. I think that's a legitimate challenge for Oregon when we get there in a couple weeks, not to rush the season by. But.
No, well, and you want to talk about Iowa too. I mean, we've talked about how Kinnick is a tough place to play, but what's been kind of the calling card with Iowa? It's the defense, and we just watched, and we'll talk about Iowa in a little bit, but they just gave up 330 passing yards to Rutgers, and I think Rutgers has a really good pass offense this year. They have 3 really good wide receivers, but you know who also has a really good offense this year, Clinton? It's Indiana.
Absolutely, man. So just to kind of sum it all up, in Illinois, the season's so far ahead of you. We talked about whether you won or lost this game. You've got plenty of opportunities. You get USC at home next week, but
yeah, man, you can't sulk. You got to get back up.
Yeah, you got to figure out because they have an explosive offense. And we'll see Big Ten foe tonight that's a little more than a Purdue. We'll see what they can do, but Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane and Jaden Maeva is on a roll right now. If you couldn't stop what Indiana has, you're going to be in trouble lining up with that again next week. Difference again, you get them at home. USC's got to make it's not quite the cross-country trip because they're central time zone, so
it's still a long trip.
Good. Illinois gets a chance for at least a bounce back and a ranked opponent win, is barring USC losing tonight.
Yeah, so we talked before the game who needs this win more. I think we both said Indiana just because you need to kind of get that ranked win monkey off your back and maybe kind of start shifting perception as Arizona State drilled a field goal as time expires.
God damn it, Ryan.
What?
I'm not there yet.
Oh, my bad.
Good for Arizona State, and we get the start of Michigan State now.
Get better TV.
I was busy watching Florida dump a 2-yard pass off while they're down 26-7.
Yeah, I think I thought we were gonna have a Krista Balling there, but Miami's pulling away. So I think there's a couple. I think Illinois is going to be a fascinating follow for the rest of the season, not only because of their own stuff going on, but from an Indiana standpoint too. Like you need this win to age well because. Mm-hmm. Sure, you beat the number 9 team in the country, but if they end up going 7-5 or 8-4, then those people who've been naysaying you for the last year and a half are just going to come back out and say, well, "Congratulations, you beat Illinois." They finished 8-4 because they also lost to, Ohio State and USC and Washington. So how impressive of a win is that really? But I don't know, man. I'm thinking with Illinois, like. If they lost this game in a tightly fought battle, you'd feel good about them. But I don't know where we're at here. We'll learn a lot about this team next week and how they respond. And if they do come out and they beat USC, then, great. The season's still in front of you. But, man, that's a short turnaround after you get your ass kicked still playing a good team that you're going to have to come out and play. And this is the type of loss, too, man, that, like, even if they do beat USC, if they come out and get their ass kicked by Ohio State, then your season's over. You're not making the playoff at 10-2 when you get demolished twice and then you don't have the opportunity for another quality win really on your schedule.
Listen, this is not being a homer here. Indiana does not have Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and most likely going to be Bo Jackson as the lead running back by that point.
Well, I think Indiana's
Mendoza
running backs are better. I think Indiana has a better backfield and probably a better quarterback.
We'll see. I mean, Max Claire's
by the playoffs, maybe not. But I think right now, like I think it's you. If you're going to tell me Julian Sainz better than Fernando Mendoza, I'm going to tell you you're fucking high.
100% better than him, easily.
You're whatever you smoked before the show, bud.
No, I think where Ohio State will suffocate them more is Ohio State's defense is obviously more athletic
yes,
and
100%.
full of freaks.
Yes.
And if Illinois can only muster 10 points here, like, oof. Again, you get that game at home, so we'll see. But Illinois, find a way to bounce back next week. You need it if you want to keep your playoff hopes alive. I chuckled last night at the end of the Iowa-Rutgers game when Iowa won. He's like, and Iowa keeps their playoff hopes alive. I'm like, dog,
I mean,
they ain't making the playoff.
I mean,
He's not wrong, but they ain't making the playoff. Their playoff
it's one of those
hopes
situations
are over
where
next week.
he did not say a false statement. However, if you look at the schedule, we can all use our brains and figure out where this is going.
Yes, and it's going to be ended next week when Indiana kills them.
Could happen. Next one, Clinton, is Michigan back or is Nebraska
the same?
Back. Is it old Nebraska?
Do we just
Michigan,
feel like it's the statement we used to give Texas and joke and say Texas is back?
The old Joe Tess when Tyrone Swoops ran that double overtime game against Notre Dame in 2016. Texas is back, folks. And then that ended up being the second worst Notre Dame team of the millennium, which is saying something because there's been some shitty Notre Dame teams. The story of this game, Clinton, the line of scrimmage, and Nebraska got absolutely demolished on both of them. Michigan sacked Dylan Raiola 7 times in this game, and because of that, Nebraska only amassed 43 yards on the ground on 31 carries. But even if you take out that sack-adjusted yards, they only ran the ball for 84 yards between Mekhi Nelson and Emmett Johnson. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, nearly 300 yards on the ground for Michigan in this one. Justice Haynes is an unbelievable football player. 17 carries, 149 yards with a touchdown. Jordan Marshall had 80 yards on the ground on only 6 carries, also scored a touchdown. And they appear willing to use Bryce Underwood's feet. So he had 61 yards, including a 37-yard touchdown where he was just completely untouched. I thought a turning point in this game was going to be the end of half snafu for Michigan, where they did not call a timeout and force Nebraska to punt, instead allowing Nebraska to run the clock out and throw that Hail Mary that got completed. And that was incredible body control by Ja'Cory Barney because he landed not in the end zone and almost did like a back bend over to get into the end zone. That was incredible, but Nebraska just couldn't tackle in this game, man. Like, you look at that last drive of the game when Michigan kicked a field goal to go up 10. They had multiple third down opportunities, and they just could not get – it wasn't even they couldn't get the ball carrier on the ground. They couldn't get hands on the ball carrier. You had guys running through open lanes, breaking out wide. It was just terrible run defense throughout the entirety of this game. And it wasted what was – I mean, I don't necessarily – I mean, statistically, it was a very good effort by Dylan Raiola in this one. I think – just from like a pocket presence standpoint, maybe not the best on his part, but we're still sitting here asking the same old questions about Nebraska, and it was kind of felt like one of those situations where we're supposed to be different this year.
Yep, and one of my keys to this game was the young quarterback making the costly turnover or the game-changing play, and you could say both of those occurred with Raiola making the early interception where he just snapped the ball and then threw it without even reading the defense and got intercepted. And then the game-changing play was the explosive run, 37-yard TD run for Underwood. But Nebraska struggled the entire day against the run, Ryan. It wasn't just a 37-yarder. Haynes had a 75-yarder, and Marshall had a 54-yarder. And on the Haynes 75-yarder, they went back and showed the replay, and safety was just completely out of place. It wasn't even a missed tackle. He wasn't even in place to make the tackle. Now, you have to give credit to Michigan's center who helped out on the defensive tackle, then popped up and just got enough of a piece of the linebacker to let Haynes make the play. But kind of the same thing with Marshall. Just explosive play after explosive play. You know, Michigan looks like Michigan of old. They don't need to pass because they just kill you with the run.
Oh.
And I don't know if you can argue that they can pass because Bryce Underwood in the 2 biggest games this year they've had, he's got 215 yards passing total. And he's
I don't
12
even
of
know if it's
22 in
that.
this one, and he was like 13 of 24 against Oklahoma. So it's not like it's
It was 9 of 24.
9 of
It was
20.
not
So it's not
good.
like it's a thing of beauty, but they don't need to have that right now. And not when they can pop off runs like this. And this was something, we expected more from Nebraska, especially this being a home game, being a home dog, maybe that you feel a little more disrespected. I'm 100% with you. I think the play of the game, even though it didn't result in a win, was the halftime Hail Mary, man. That was so freaking sweet. We never see things like that work out. A lot of times, again, Barney made the play, but why DBs are taught to never try to intercept those and just bat it down immediately.
Just because of that.
But hell of a play. Raiola, solid game. My biggest thing for Raiola is, he hit some really nice sidearm throws, fitting him in windows, but some of those sacks he got pressure on him. Some of them kind of fall on him because he just continues to try to make play after play,
Yeah.
just like his idol Patrick Mahomes, when he could just, if you throw the ball away, man, now you're not in 2nd and 15 against a defense who couldn't stop Barnum off the edge.
No.
And that was another game changing in this one. Barnum off the edge was just a game wrecker.
Yeah,
And
he's
if
really
that's
good.
where Michigan continues to play him, he didn't play any snaps at linebacker this game, I believe. He was only off the edge. He only had 1 sack and 2 TFLs, but he was just in the face, or he was being chipped and double teamed. That was one of the times with like Emmett Johnson. They couldn't get him out because he's a really good pass or receiving back. They couldn't get him out there because he's too busy chipping Barnum or helping with Barnum because Nebraska didn't have an answer for him. And then Michigan looks like they've got a good set of defensive tackles again on defense, which become problematic for teams in the Big Ten if they can't run the ball at all. So you feel bad for Nebraska fans, man. They showed up full force. They hit that halftime TD, and you're like, this is going to be a game in the second half. And Michigan came out right away, complete boa constrictor, squeezed it out of them, and it was done.
So 2 questions. Michigan's now 1-0 in the Big Ten, and much has been made about the schedule, which is not particularly daunting. You have at USC, you have the following week Washington at home. That's a very good Washington offense and a maybe not so good Washington defense. They're running it very well, but the pass game's still a work in progress. Do you think they can navigate this schedule and get to the Ohio State game at 10-1?
I think there's potentially a slip up along the way. Just with a freshman quarterback, there's easily a time where he goes in, he makes a couple picks, but you'd be foolish to bet against them getting there, I guess, because their defense still plays really well.
Well, it's like the 2 things that carry over is defense and running the ball. And they do both of those things at
You
an
don't have to
exceptional
worry about
rate.
Underwood making the critical mistake if he doesn't have to pass. If he can just hand it off, if he can be handoff merchant like J.J. McCarthy. But the difference with Underwood is the dude has a cannon. McCarthy doesn't have a cannon like him.
He throws a very,
Yes.
very, very fast ball.
Yes. So I think there's a chance to slip up in there just because, God forbid, something happens to Underwood or, he goes out. At USC and Washington are the tricky ones for me. I don't think Wisconsin's going to be a problem. I think Michigan's just going to run it down their throat. But at USC, man, again, we'll see what we get tonight with them playing against Michigan State. But that 3-game stretch at USC, home against Washington, and at Michigan State, and again, we're going to see what Michigan State is tonight a little bit. That's a tough stretch of 3. Purdue, Northwestern, I don't know, maybe Maryland? We haven't gotten to that game yet, and I know beating Wisconsin is not as impressive as it used to be, but Maryland looks
not
pretty
impressive
damn
at all.
solid, and it's at Maryland a week before the Ohio State game. Maryland got Michigan and Ohio State in back-to-back years right before the week of the game, and they damn near clipped both of them. So it'll be interesting, but I don't think you're wrong, Ryan, at 10-1.
And then Nebraska, I mean, the schedule also is favorable depending on how you feel about Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, and Northwestern before they get USC and UCLA. They could still be 7-1 heading into that USC game, but given what we saw from them today, what is your level of confidence of them getting through these next 4 unscathed?
You better limit the big play. I think you have the offense to do it. Maybe not the offensive line. You have the offensive skill players to do it. And every defensive line you play is not going to be Michigan, right? But again, we're watching Michigan State here tonight. Let's see what they look like. At Maryland, at Minnesota, those don't look easy. They're winnable, but they don't look easy. So the line of scrimmage is what scares me for Nebraska. If Raiola doesn't have time to make plays or get the ball to his playmakers, or Emmett Johnson can't run free, and then they continue to give massive plays up, they're going to lose 3 or 4 of those, Ryan. They're going to be sitting here pining for bowl eligibility again.
Next up, Clinton, are these teams actually for real? Iowa 38, Rutgers 28. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought after the first offensive series for each of these teams that Iowa was cooked, because they take the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Reese Vanderzee being back is a very big boost for, special teams and offense for Iowa. But then Rutgers responds immediately, and they made it look easy. Athan Kaliakmanis was just dicing the Iowa defense early in this game, and then they get down the field, they score a touchdown at 7-7, and then Iowa responds by going 3 plays. I think they lost 4 yards. And then Rutgers scored easily again. I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a long night for Iowa. But they did a really good job responding. They got the pass game going a little bit in this one. And what did we talk about before this game is Rutgers really has struggled this year defending running quarterbacks. And he wasn't as explosive as Parker Navarro or Daquan Finn, but Mark Gronowski did a really good job of keeping Rutgers' defense off balance, scrambling when needed. He had 55 yards and scored 3 times on the ground. He's a little bit better throwing the ball. He's 12 of 18, 186 yards. He protected the football well. It was a good rebound effort for Iowa in this game, but the Rutgers offense, man, I was concerned about, were they just a Mac merchant? And it turns out they were not. Kaliakmanis had 330 yards in this game. He was picked off. He did have 2 rushing touchdowns. Was unclear if Ian Strong was going to play. He did, and he played fantastically. 8 catches, 151 yards. Duff had 7 catches for 92 yards, and Sheffield 3 catches for 51 yards. The issue for the Rutgers offense is they could not run the ball at all. They only averaged 2.3 yards per carry in this game. Are you encouraged with Iowa in this? Was it a step forward, or is it just we'll wait and see because we're not sure how good the Rutgers defense is right now?
I think it's a middle of the road. It felt like traditional Iowa as far as special teams, right?
God, I don't know who that was for USC, but I think they might be peeling him off the turf.
Oh boy, as long as it's not. Oh God, I think that's my boy, Jacoby or Makai Lemon.
Jacoby Lane is not playing tonight.
Okay, so Makai Lemon. Makai Lemon is.
No, that wasn't Lemon. That was someone else. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he got crushed.
That is the textbook definition of a hospital ball. That was Peyton Manning throwing to Austin Collie.
Which one did you say is not playing tonight?
Jacoby Lane is not playing.
Okay,
tonight.
good. Makai Lemon is number 6. So my guy did not get killed. Anyways, it was very traditional Iowa special teams. Caden Wetchen, 100-yard kick return TD. Also had a 43-yard punt return that was right before half. And maybe if they had 1 or 2 more seconds there, Iowa would have had the ability to convert a field goal. But it's also exactly as we said that Rutgers has struggled on defense. And we found that in the fourth quarter when Iowa scored 17 points and Rutgers scored 7. That essentially clinched the game. It's kind of a tale of 2 halves, 42 points in the first half, 24 in the second half, and 17 of those obviously went to Iowa in the fourth quarter. But man, it is as you already mentioned, it's a strong connection, no pun intended. Kaliakmanis and Ian Strong, they might be an unstoppable connection. Just the whole 3 with Strong, Duff, and Sheffield here. Rutgers has some pop on offense, and it's a shame that they don't have a defense to be able to stand in tall enough. I'm still not sold on Gronowski. He's getting better, but now he's going to play an even better team who actually plays defense and generates pressure next week. And if we were going to get the Gronowski that we thought we were getting, then I think Iowa had enough pop maybe, but they're not scoring 38 points on Indiana's defense next week. No. I believe we did say Mark Gronowski, he's 10.3 average. Didn't we talk about 2 weeks ago? He's like a 2.5 yard average. So at least that's getting better. But I think it's middle of the road for me. I think it feels like traditional Iowa, and it also kind of feels like traditional Rutgers from last year in regards to just not having a defense that can get the job done.
At least when you have a passing offense, though, you can stay in every game, and they're absolutely
Absolutely.
going to need it because, I mean, we can cross Illinois off of the top 10 teams list, but they still have Oregon at Ohio State and Penn State on the schedule.
Listen, when you can throw for 330 on a Phil Parker defense
Yeah, man.
that just Rocco Beck couldn't do jack shit against,
No,
it's
no.
pretty impressive.
Yeah, they I don't know if they'll get any of these teams, but if they have one or multiple of them in a game in the fourth quarter with that passing offense, I would not be surprised. But
Absolutely.
I mean, if you got the all-time Kaliakmanis revenge game at Minnesota this coming week, if you win that game, you head into your bye at 4-1. I mean, Washington's defense has not been fantastic this year. That's an opportunity for you. Purdue couldn't stop a fucking anything today. That the Rutgers brought getting 70 on them. I mean, we just saw Illinois get decimated. They can hang points on them too. I mean, this is a team that, I mean, they should be going bowling, hopefully, for them. But good game for the Rutgers pass game. Better game for Iowa in this one, and good rebound win. Speaking of bad things, Clinton, is it time to start the clock on Luke Fickell's tenure in Wisconsin? Because I think the Wisconsin fans think it is, based on the Fire Fickell chants that were ringing through the stadium that you could hear on the broadcast heading into halftime of this game.
You know, I feel like you just somehow have access to my show document here, because my first line, should Luke Fickell be fired and the Badgers just look to move on?
Clinton, we literally asked this question during the preview show.
Yeah.
If they lose this game, should they just fire him on the spot?
Yeah, Badger faithful think so. Shouted at halftime. Fickell's now 15-15 at Wisconsin, Ryan, and he has lost 7. Has lost 7 of their last Power 4 opponents.
That's brutal.
There's just nothing impressive about Wisconsin. Billy Edwards gave it a go. First drive, got into the second drive, made one play, limped off. Clearly not healthy enough. I don't think Billy Edwards would have been a difference in this to win this game anyways.
God, no.
Maryland pretty much dominated them. Malik Washington looks fantastic for a freshman. Say what you want about Wisconsin, and I'm sure the environment's not as spunky as it normally is, because they have I guess they're a 2-2 team now. They're not a losing team, but they're not as impressive as they normally are. But 265, 2 TDs, 1 rushing touchdown. Maryland side, the concern is they still can't run the ball. 19 carries, 73 yards. But Wisconsin, man, it doesn't get any better for you. Your October slate includes a visit to Michigan. You host Iowa. Maybe you win that one if Iowa can't score. And then you get a number 1 Ohio State, and then you travel to Oregon. You are in for an absolute beating. We talked about this in the Pick'em show on Thursday. If they don't win this game, where do we see another win coming from? Wisconsin, realistically, Ryan, could be staring down the barrel of 2-10.
Yes.
So to answer your question, I think you're going to have to think about firing Fickell. That here's the thing, though. It's not going to change your result. I still don't think you're winning any of those games if you fire him or not. Right. So maybe he makes it to the end of the season, and then he finds a way to sweet talk him and be like, well, listen, guys, 2026 is a better schedule. I'm like, O'Neal will be in his second year in the offensive system. He was just a freshman last year for SDSU. We can figure it out. I don't know. There's a lot of sweet talking to do when you look like shit.
Yeah.
And then one more piece on the Maryland side, man. They've outscored their first 4 opponents 130-43, and they've already matched their win total from last year, Ryan.
Yep.
Impressive start for the Terps.
Did you see the end of the half of this game?
I know the student section completely left. I don't know which else part.
Okay, so Wisconsin missed a field goal at the end of half, or they punted it, or no, they had a turnover on downs at the Maryland 35-yard line. There's 18 seconds left, and instead of running out the clock, they ran I don't remember if it was like a slant or what they ran, but Maryland completes a 48-yard catch and run with less than 20 seconds left in the half, and Wisconsin just looked like they were ready to be done playing football for the half. So They give up a free field goal basically at the end of the half because they were not playing football, and I think that just kind of encapsulates where this team is right now. But
Yeah.
they had a
Mentally
good first
checked
drive.
out, and it's 4 games into the season.
Yeah, they had a good first drive of the game. It ends with the field goal got blocked, and then the next series, Danny O'Neal gets picked off, but including that interception drive, the rest of Wisconsin's first half after the first missed field goal was 31 plays and 99 yards against the Maryland defense, which has been fine this year, but again has not really been tested by anyone of note. So it's just the mucking with the Wisconsin identity appears to have significantly backfired as they try to go back to what they were, and it just
That makes me think of the one tweet I sent out, and somebody commented back. So it was a 4th and 1, and they ran a toss play, and I was like,
oh yeah,
4th
yeah,
and 1, and you're running a toss play, and they're like, well, I love the idea of like doing something different. I'm like, yeah, but the Wisconsin
just
football
fucking
gods
run
are
it down their
just
throat.
staring down at you and hating you for that. Wisconsin traditional football would have punched you in the mouth and got 5 there.
Just prove that you're
Easily.
the tougher man.
Absolutely. And they ran a toss play. And I'm never a huge fan of 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, and let's toss it and have to run 15 yards to just get one north and south. Just fucking attack them. Go full Urban Meyer and do quarterback power if you have to. I don't care. But I don't want to run 15 yards just to try to get one. And it obviously backfired. And that's, again, just another feeling for how this season is going for Wisconsin.
Yes, good game again from Malik Washington. He's really exciting, and good for Maryland because before the year, I think we all pegged Mike Locksley as getting fired, and he's 4-0. So kudos to him. Clinton, the only way Oregon doesn't cover is because they don't want to. And they still almost covered this game. Oregon 41, Oregon State 7. The high point of this game was for the Beavers was they had a really good long touchdown drive that took up like half of the first quarter.
Touchdown Sparty.
Ooh.
Aiden Childs dime to McCray after he threw a dime to Nick Marsh.
Big play McCray.
Ooh, baby. Guess what, Ryan? It's
Two
only
wide open.
5 minutes left in the first quarter, but it still looks like USC can't play defense.
That Notre Dame USC game might go for 120 points.
I mean, you guys damn near did it last year too, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess 45, 35. I mean, that was assisted by Jaden Maeva throwing 2 touchdowns to Notre Dame at the end of the game. But
absolutely,
I feel dirty rooting for USC in this game, but I did bet on them.
You guys need it.
No, I don't give a fuck what my team needs because my team isn't going to win 10 straight playing defense the way that they did tonight. But I bet on USC against my better judgment. But yes, Oregon, I feel like could have done whatever they wanted in this game. They seemed more than happy to just get through the game unscathed. They had scoring drives that went for 6 minutes, 10 seconds, 5 minutes, 36 seconds, and 6 minutes, 21 seconds. Dante Moore is excellent. 21 of 31, 305 yards, 4 touchdowns. Good rapport with Decorian Moore, Kenyon Sadiq, Malik Benson. Those 3 combined 10 catches, 163 yards, and 2 scores. No Noah Whittington in this one. Jaden Lamar led the backfield with carries and yards, 12 for 70. And we actually had a Mekhi Hughes sighting in this one. He had 6 carries, 33 yards.
There we go. Getting some work.
Outside of that first drive of the game, though, Clinton, Oregon State only had like 90 yards. So this one wasn't close. Oregon still almost covered. Technically, they did not by half a point.
Hey, man, listen, it was close until halftime. It was 21-7 at half. Oregon punched one late to make it 21-7. They sputtered a little bit. But again, maybe it's a lack of interest thing because they clearly flexed in the second half, easily pulling away, in addition to the fact that Oregon State just has nothing on offense. For his 4 touchdown passes, Dante Moore threw to 4 different Duck players. He is really good at distributing the ball, which will be key next week when they step into Happy Valley at night in a whiteout crowd that Moore has never faced before. Oh, they did decide to go there over Bama, Georgia. Good job, College Game Day. Thank you for doing that. But Oregon, man, they're humming on 585 yards of offense. What a hell of a touchdown catch by Decorian Moore on the first drive. Body control to keep himself to make the play. Here's my thought. Penn State's watching every ounce of this, right? And they're looking for any advantage they can get. Maybe Oregon's run defense is somewhere you can get them. as evidence with a little bit against Northwestern last week. We talk about Penn State starting slow. Oregon was kind of slow to start in this game as well, and it's at home. So maybe Penn State gets lucky next week if they start slow. Oregon also starts slow, but Oregon's offense pops, man. And they look like a well-oiled machine right now. I know they haven't played anyone. They just took another hit, I believe, last night to their schedule difficulty because I believe Oklahoma State lost again.
Clinton, there was nothing watermark about that game even after it happened.
Yeah.
I think everyone understands that Oklahoma State is on like UCLA level of ass this year.
We should just have the Ass Bowl. Virginia Tech, UCLA, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma State.
I think they're just going to play a round robin to figure out who the worst
Just
team in college football is.
Worst team in college football. Sadly, 2 of them are from the Big Ten. That's disappointing. Maybe we can throw Oregon State in there for fun too. They are 0-4.
Yeah, they do not look good either.
Great final tune-up for the Ducks. I am so excited for this game next Saturday. It's also juicy just because you get Ohio State Washington first to lead into those games, and also at 7:30 is Bama Georgia. It is a fun nightcap next week that I'm pretty stoked for.
Yes, Clinton, and you get Notre Dame Arkansas in the morning, which is a great transition to Notre Dame 56, Purdue 30, a game that took like 6 hours to complete because of a 2.5-hour weather delay. That actually featured a halftime, Clinton, before halftime occurred. There was a minute 30 seconds left on the clock, and they just decided we're not actually going to do halftime. This is the halftime. You'll just come out, and it'll be like a regular quarter thing.
Yep.
Notre Dame could have scored 90 points in this game if they wanted to. I think the only offensive drive the first team offense did not score on was like right at the end of the first half when on the first play of a drive, CJ Carr got strip sacked. Otherwise, they scored on every offensive possession with the first team in. However, I still do not understand this ND defense at all. So Leonard Moore did not play in this game. Star cornerback, it was pretty early in the A&M game. He got rolled up on, I thought it was a knee, but it was an ankle, and he played the rest of that game, but did not play today. Also not starting was their starting nickelback, Devontae Smith. He was out for the second consecutive game after turning an ankle in pregame before last week against Texas A&M. And then starting safety, Adon Schuler did not play the first half after a targeting ejection. So they were down 3 starters in the secondary in the first half, Clinton, but I don't know what the fuck they're doing in the secondary because they still were turning guys loose. There were guys running open. It does not look like people understand who they're covering. And maybe that happens when you have 2 true freshman corners playing in a game with a redshirt freshman playing at safety. But I don't know, man. I don't know if they just miss the communication and the leadership of Xavier Watts or if Chris Ash is just a dumbass or what. But they gave up 23 points in the first half to Purdue. That is not great. I think Ryan Brown had like 210 yards passing in the first half. Not good. Not good at all on the defensive side of the ball. But offensively, it was great. Jeremiah Love, 157 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Jadarian Price had 80 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Also returned a kickoff for 100 yards for a touchdown. He's explosive. I'll just put it up because you texted me the same thing.
Listen, man, I like Love a ton, but every time I'm looking at a game this year, it's Jadarian Price who's making the damn play, and his just burst and acceleration seems to be on a different level. I think Love is probably, you speak to this more than I can, the tougher, more physical runner. Obviously, he throws his hurdle in there. But Jadarian Price, man, he looks damn good.
Yeah.
And it's not a problem to have, right? I mean, look at last year's team with Ohio State with Henderson and Judkins, right? Like, if you can have each one of those guys go pound for pound in a length of game for you, and somehow Notre Dame finds themselves into the playoff this year with both those backs humming, that's a dangerous combo to have. Quick side note, you want to know, I just thought of this, who Chris Ash makes me think of Ohio State-wise.
What's that?
Kerry Coombs defenses.
Oh, fucking A. Yeah, that.
Does it not?
I don't see. I have my own bad Notre Dame defensive coordinator stories that I can go back on John Tenuta and Brian Van Gorder immediately come to mind. I don't need you to put that evil in my life too.
Well, I mean, why am I blanking on his name? Ohio State. He's DC. Then he went to BC. And now he's with the Packers. Why am I blanking on his name?
Matt. Oh, Jeff Halfley?
Yes. They were elite with Halfley. And then Kerry Coombs comes in and just absolutely fucks it up for 2 years. So bad. And that's exactly how elite Notre Dame was with Al Golden. And then come in with freaking, I can't even say his name, Chris Ash. That's how much disdain I have for him.
Just don't even talk about him.
They look horrible. So, listen, the good news is you won't be facing a Steve Angeli-led Syracuse who can sling the rock everywhere, but you will face a Jaden Maeva-led USC offense who can sling the ball everywhere.
The issue I have is when you give up 23 points in the first half to Purdue, you can give up 23 points to anyone. Purdue's a lot better this year. Yep. For sure.
Absolutely. And that's what I wanted to say. And to give props to Purdue here, I still stand by if 2024 Purdue played 2025 Purdue, 2025 Purdue would win by double digits. Not like 50, but like 14.
You know what's funny, though, Clinton, is Notre Dame still scored almost as many first half points as they did against 2024 Purdue in this game.
But Purdue scored way more.
They scored a lot more points.
Also here, looking back at the Boilers, though, the last 2 games when they've played opponents of note in the Big Ten, they have given up 995 yards of total offense.
Woof.
So again, that hurts. There goes my boy Lemon. Yeah. Don't you hurt him. I won't be a Sparty fan anymore if you take my best receiver, second best receiver off my team. But anyways, Purdue looks much better. It's got to be a more enjoyable season for the Boiler fans because Barry Odom brings promise. And he is a head coach who knows what he's doing and has experience. So, it's going to be a long season. It's a brutal schedule. But you got to take your positives out of this. I don't know if Ryan Brown has any eligibility left for them, but
they kept trying to run the ball in this game, which I didn't understand at all because they were having, it felt like every time they dropped back to pass in the first half, they were getting chunk plays, and every time they tried to run, they were getting nothing.
Handled up front.
Yeah, which is good if you're a Notre Dame fan. But CJ Carr only threw 12 passes in this game because he didn't need to throw more. He completed 10 of them for 223 yards. He threw Clinton, it was nice to see the deep ball back in South Bend. A gorgeous 66-yard touchdown pass to Malachi Fields on the first play from scrimmage. Another great long pass to Jordan Faison. I think Faison went over 100 yards receiving this game. So
Ryan, I had a question from someone this week. What happened? What's happened to Great House?
Dude, I have no idea. I completely do not understand that at all.
It's just gone. And I told him, I was like, well, they added Malachi Fields, they added Will Pauling, but
Pauling's not playing either. Pauling had 2 catches in this game.
I was going to say he was in, but
but
where did the playoff playmaker last year go?
The theory I've seen is Greathouse mostly plays in the slot. He does not play out wide. I think they've because Fields plays out wide full time, and Faison's a guy. I thought Greathouse was going to be the guy who goes more outside than Faison, and Faison was going to stay in the slot. But Faison's been working kind of more at that field receiver position. The hypothesis I've seen is that Carr's just not super comfortable throwing over the middle yet.
Yeah.
Unless it's like Raritan, who's bigger than their fucking starting right tackle is.
And that's okay, right? Because we talked about this in the Texas-Ohio State game is even though Arch had started 2 games, what did both teams avoid doing in the first half? Throwing the ball over the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad spot to put your young quarterback in. And when you don't need to do it, a la Michigan, Notre Dame doing the same thing. If you can just pound the rock, and let your running backs make the plays, Carr's going to get better and better and more comfortable as the season goes on.
For sure.
Don't take a chance that he throws 1 or 2 bad passes across the middle that then makes this a game for 4 quarters with Purdue.
Yeah, and it's not even like it wouldn't even be like nitpicking to say like we should throw over the middle more. It's like you don't even need to because you're doing a great job throwing outside, getting him moving in the pocket. Like you're still having success in the pass game without doing that. Plus you're running the ball well.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've scored. I mean, I guess we'll take the kick return touchdown and the block punt touchdown out from last week, but shit, now I got to do math. I mean, you're averaging like 40 points a game on offense over the last 2 games. So I think that's perfectly fine. I had an all-time bad betting beat in this game. I concocted the perfect parlay that hit like every single leg with like 3 minutes gone in the second half, except for Armad Branch, over 32 receiving yards for Purdue, and they did not throw the ball to him at all in the second half. And I was like fuming pissed watching the second half of this game as they kept throwing to Michael Jackson the third and Nitro Tuggle and some other dipshit that I've never heard of. It's like, throw it to the big play guy. It was like a $150 payout. I was really pissed. Anyway, go Irish. We finally got a win, justifying the.
Who's your game next week?
Arkansas.
That's right. That'll be interesting.
Oh no, that's the type of game that is going to turn my blood pressure to 180
Ryan's going to be
over
sweating
220
profusely again. Good news is, if you guys lose that game, you have all day long to just let it simmer.
There's going to be, I think like I'm with this on Rutgers now too. I think Notre Dame is just going to be an auto bet the over until proven otherwise at this point. Because they can't stop anyone, but their offense is also laughable. I don't understand why I can't ever get a fucking Notre Dame team that has this offense and last year's defense at the same time.
It's tough, man. I've said that a lot as an Ohio State fan.
Stupid.
Especially with the Kerry Coombs years.
So we won't talk Michigan State, USC.
We only have one game left, my man.
Yeah, I know, but Jaden Maeva just ran it in from, I don't know, it was like a 25-yard touchdown run. USC's up 10-7 right now in Michigan State in the first quarter. This one went final, I think right before we went live.
Mm-hmm.
Washington 59, Washington State 24. This was kind of close.
Yes.
For the first half of this game. I mean, even into the third quarter, I think it was like a 7-10 point game. And then a couple turnovers by Washington State late kind of
sealed the deal.
Put this one out of reach. But they're doing the Notre Dame thing where we're going to have a killer offense and our defense is kind of questionable. But they are going to be exciting throughout the rest of the season if playing football like that.
Absolutely. And you look across the board, pass, rush, reception, yardage leaders, clean slate to Washington. Jonah Coleman again tends to just show how much of a beast he is. He had more receiving yards in this game than he did rushing yards. I don't know, man. Like, I thought I wrote something down for this game, but I was almost just reread what I wrote in the pick'em on Thursday. I'm concerned with Washington's defense. Washington State was split on who they were going to start at quarterback in this game. This young man comes out. He doesn't start the first drive well, but after that, he finds pieces, and he took the Cougar offense down the field. Washington, I'm concerned of your defense because you get Ohio State next week, and I know you get them at home. But if Washington State moved the ball up and down the field that easily on you, I think you should be very afraid what Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate might do to you next week. Now, if you can find some way with your defense to generate pressure on Julian Sayin, then sure. But Damon Williams, again, looking at his size, every time I see him, man, I'm surprised he's that little. He hides behind those guys when he takes off and runs. The offensive line are so big, he is hard to find. The problem is, though, he's still a young quarterback. And if you notice on any of the times Washington State blitz, man, the one kid just perfect form tackled him for a sack. He doesn't see it coming because he can't see over the line of scrimmage. And so with a defense of Ohio State that's Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, probably the most athletic tandem of linebackers in the country coming your way, I'm really interested to see how this pans out, but you're right. Washington is so exciting. Denzel Boston still fighting, I believe, for wide receiver 1 in this year's draft. Jonah Coleman, to me, although Justice Haynes, man, I don't know if it's Coleman or Haynes. One of those two is the best running back in the Big Ten, but they're both phenomenal. But Coleman is a just absolute barrel to try to bring down. If you look at his body type, but he's not fat. Dude's just thick.
Oh, no, he's thick.
And it's just, you better.
Clinton, he is listed at 5'9", 228 pounds.
So he's probably 5'8", 235.
I don't know about 235, but
he's just a
definitely
bowling ball.
not 5'9".
Battering
He's definitely
ram.
not. Yeah, there we go.
Whatever you want to call
I like
it.
bowling ball. I like bowling ball.
Yeah, he's just he's a hell of a fun running back to watch. And if he could have an off week next week for my Buckeye fandom, that'd be great. But He is super fun to watch, and I'm interested to see how Washington does when they face their first true test next week.
Yeah, so the good news for Washington, did a better job stopping the run, but you mentioned not the best stopping the pass. They did have 2 interceptions in this game, but also maybe a little bit of a look ahead.
Bo
because of Ohio
Jackson
State
unleashed next week. I'm telling you, he's
All
coming.
right, well, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I'm interested to see what the line for that game is. Cool, man. That's all I have. Unless you have anything else you want to
I have
talk
one
about.
last piece. We got to go an hour, right? I'm kidding. Monday night, guys, we're going to be joined by our friends. I almost said Dan Lanning. Good Lord, I'm tired.
Could you fucking imagine?
Could you imagine? Dale Bliss and Matt Flip will be joining us. Dale brought this up around our fall previews this year. He said, would love to come on the show for the Penn State game. And if you could swing your Penn State guy too, I would love to chat with him. So Dale and Matt are going to join us. That's going to probably be, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes, maybe a little more of Monday's show. We're going to kind of do what we did with Sonny, is give us a little backstory and how they're feeling about their team thus far. And then we'll each have them give us a couple keys to the game. And so that should be really interesting for you guys to tune into. And I also believe, and Ryan and I can talk off air about this, but Roman also was interested in coming on the show and just having a nice, fun talk with me for the Ohio State game. So we'll see what we can work out with that. Maybe get him on for 15 minutes Thursday to do a little fun preview. And then Ryan and I finish up the show. But we'll see what we can work up for you guys.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I don't think I'm gonna make it through this game, man. I'm already hitting the wall.
No, dog. I'm gonna watch this Michigan State drive, and I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
Larry out there in Las Vegas, though, he's gonna watch the whole thing because it's his time.
He's in Denver, and he also might be drunk right now. Which good for you, man. Good for you, Dad. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in with us tonight or tomorrow morning, whenever you're listening to us. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Join our Battle Bats League. All those fun things. Thanks, Kate.